Hi, I'd like to show you how to create and process a reevaluation for an approved Type 1 categorical exclusion checklist or a non-major state action checklist within the Statewide Environmental Project Tracker or SWEPT. I'll be demonstrating on a Type 1 CE, but the functionality is the same on both the Type 1 CE and NMSA reevaluations. Right now, I'm logged into our testing server, viewing the project page with an approved Type 1 CE. I'm using a testing account for the District Environmental Manager. Until we get to the approvals though, the functionality is exactly the same for someone using a SWEPT project editor account. I'll point out the differences when we get there. First, I start the reevaluation by finding the approved checklist. I need to be a member of the project team in order to create the reevaluation. You can see the list of project team members up here on the project page, and if someone needs to be added, anyone on the project team can use the edit feature to add new members. I scroll down to the project documents section and look for the environmental review process folder. In that folder, there will be a subsection called Type 1 Categorical Exclusion Checklist, or if I'm in NMSA, it'll say NMSA checklist. In that folder, I look for the approved Type 1 CE that I'm interested in. Once I find that, I click the button, Create Reeval. This loads the checklist reevaluation page. I could also have gotten here from the left menu on SWEPT. Under Project Input Setup, I could have just opened a Type 1 categorical exclusion form or the non-major state action checklist form. In either of those cases, I would type in the FM number, click load, and it would come up with a list of the checklists available for that particular project. And right next to it would be the link to the checklist reevaluation. I would just click that and it would take me to the same place. On the checklist reevaluation page, I'm able to indicate whether updates to the previously approved checklist are needed in order to document the reevaluation results. I can look at the approved checklist by clicking the green link on the blue information box to open the PDF and review the approved checklist. First, let me show you what happens if no changes are needed to the checklist. I answer the question, do updates need to be made to the checklist to document evaluation results? And I select no changes are needed. Because I'm logged in as an environmental manager, I see a button to automatically approve it. If I was the editor, it would say send to approve, and the environmental manager would get a notification to go ahead and approve it. So as the environmental manager now, I go ahead and click approve, and a confirmation page appears. At the top of this page, notice the yellow box for the environmental certification. I can complete the environmental certification by clicking the green link to view and submit it from here, just like I would with the normal Type 1 CE. In some situations, especially when processing an older checklist, instead of getting the confirmation page, the checklist will load and display an error message indicating that some questions or options have been changed. I actually have a page that shows you that on another tab. So I'm just opening this so you can see what it looks like. This may occur, for example, when changes are made to the checklist questions to reflect updates to the PD&E manual after the checklist was approved. The checklist loads, you'll see this red message, and you'll need to scroll down and look for the red text that indicates what's missing. Make the updates, and then at the bottom of the screen, you'll be able to send it for approval, or if you're the DEM, approve it. But let me now show you what happens if no changes are needed to the document. I'll go back to the project file to start over again so you can see this from the beginning. start a new reevaluation by clicking the button. And on the reevaluation page, this time I'm going to select the option, yes, changes are required, and click continue. The checklist loads with all the answers provided from the previous approved submittal when possible. You can now edit the checklist responses as needed, and similar to the previous scenario, when you finish making your changes, you click the send for approval or approve at the bottom of the form. If you need more details about completing the Type 1 CE or NMSA checklist, please check out our quick guides available on the left menu under Help. We have both quick guides and training videos for both the Type 1 CE and the NMSA. You can also find additional guidance, of course, on our PD&E manual webpage on the OEM DOT website. For project-specific guidance, please contact our OEM project development coordinators or engineers. You can find their contact information and their assignments by district on our OEM website at this address shown on the left. On the right, you'll find our contact information for our OEM help desk, where you can get swept assistance with the functionality, or if you run into any problems or have any questions, we're happy to help. Thank you.